Hi and welcome back. Just prior to starting the windscreen, I'll just finish off the remaining rivets down either side. I'm going to leave these ones around the gussets just at the moment, and also on the forward part of the spar tunnel, because I believe that's got to come on and off during the rigging anyway. But all the rest of the rivets down here, the two AN bolts for the rudder pedals can go in now, all the remaining. So there'll only be around about sort of maybe 12 or so CCP 44s left to do on this side. I'll also be riveting off all of the bottom of the hinge part as well, because when I fit the canopy, obviously you can't get into the canopy or can't sit down properly because of these clicos here, so it's a case of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So we'll do that as well. So let's get on a rivet. Okay, reached a little bit of a halfway point with the canopy installation. The frame, I believe, is in its spot. I've packed it out where necessary, on around about 12 odd mil at the back, and around about 1.5 to 2 at the front or thereabouts. Packed it, marked the aft canopy bow holes, marked the forward canopy bow holes. I am going to probably now just sort of lay the canopy over it to see what sort of trimmings involved, and probably call it quits for the day. But let's just get this canopy on at the moment and see what it looks like. Okay, I've just thrown the canopy on top. I had a horrible moment there when I first put it on. It looks like it was going to be too short at the back, but then I realised there's a little front mark on a texter on the canopy, so I flipped it around and it was all good. So I seem to recall, well, first of all, there's a lot of trimming to be done. Probably no idea how I'm going to start it. Obviously it's a long ways to go down, but I seem to recall Gavin was saying something about the way that these sides bowed out. Now, I don't know if I've got a straight edge here, but let's try one, and you can actually see how much it sticks out from the side of that. I don't know what you do with that. I'm sure it'll fit at the end of the day and screw all down, but I think I'll call it quits tonight. Well, just before I go, this one is, I know it's got a protective coating on it, but it seems to be awfully scratched. I'm hoping it hasn't gone all the way through. The second one seems to be in really good condition, so maybe I'll use this as a practice. If it does work, I'll have a look at what it looks like with the plastic peeled off it. If it is scratched, it may not be scratched that much, but I will still give it a shot. I've got two of them, paid for two, so I might as well give it a whirl. Just anyway, we'll close off tonight and talk tomorrow. Okay, I have probably cut about run about 3 times around. The first cut I oversized by maybe 5-6 mil just to get it into a level sort of a plane. And when I say overcut 5 or 6 mil, I put the mark on here as most would, and just went over that line to start with, just to get a little bit of a level plane, and then pushed it forward using the advantage of the overcut. Then sort of had to go about once over this side and once in the middle, so on and off the bench maybe 2 or 3 times. So at the moment I've got it hard against the windscreen at the moment, and then I'm going to overcut the back face about the same and let it sort of slowly sit down. So I'll just bring the camera over and have a quick look. Okay, so here we go. It's fairly, now when I say close, it's almost parallel to the front. I know there's a lot more trimming to go, but the idea of this is just to get it slightly fitted in on the top there, and we'll just quickly go around the other side. So this side down. Now what I've noticed is that it's a little bit hard to see here, but when I put this shroud or I don't skirt, a windscreen skirt around, the perspex is actually sticking that way a little bit. So even though it will look 1.5 off this most of the way down around, when it gets down to here, it's going to look a bit wider, only because of the perspex is a little bit wide. Look, I don't think it's a big deal. And on the back, this is the cut face, so I'll take this section off. Once I sort of get it down, I think I'll probably sort of follow in the lines of what Gavin was doing, and just sort of cleco in and slowly bring myself down and do the sides last. But anyway, that's sort of taken me about an hour and a half. So I'll close off for today and we'll get back onto it next weekend. Yeah, hi and welcome back. Okay, I have what I think is completed the canopy on the Sonex, the main hatch, and there's a little bit of filing to do around the place and things like that, but I managed to get it done without using the spare. There's a few little humps and bumpy things in it, namely over this side. I suppose I probably could file a little bit more off the bows themselves, but I will just wait and see. I think there's another couple of little MS screws to go on these two, which hold it back, and a little bit more filing to get the 1.5, a little bit more filing at the back to get that, but other than that, I don't think it's too bad. So I've got these to put a little MS screw inside here, and it's a little bit sort of sticky out there, but other than that, just some more filing to do through here, and a little bit more to take off here to get the 1.5, but other than that, it is pretty secure, I think. Okay, this side, it's not too bad, I guess. A little bit more to take off down here, but that's all works in progress. By the time I sort of get the canopy hinged and working, I can sort of just slightly file some more of that off. I think the more you play with it, the worse it gets. So that's it. A little bit, this strap supplied by Sonex was a little bit short at one end. No idea why, but I won't be bothered about that. A little bit of filing off here, the Peter Anson handle to go through here. So upsizing of the bows now, or tapping of the bows, upsizing of the plexiglass, and spraying it, and we'll see what it looks like. Come back to you shortly. Okay, canopy is pretty much complete. All that's left to do is pull it apart, just deburr these holes either side. There's 2 MS screws with some elastic stop nuts either side, just to give it some rigidity, I think, whatever all the rest is tapped, but these have just got a couple of little elastic stop nuts in it, so all that's left to do is to pull this apart now, spray the canopy frame a black, reassemble it, and I'll have one completed canopy. I'll carry on with the spraying of this frame now and see what it looks like. Hi and welcome back. Midweek, Wednesday today. I had taken the day off to go flying this morning, so I got up early this morning, around about 4:30, and drove up the coast, which is about an hour and a half. Wanted to get an early flight in, and then come back and spend the rest of the day around the house. Unfortunately, the winds kicked up by the time I got up there. Probably sitting at around about, they were sort of gusting up to anything up to about 70 kilometres an hour. So the winds were from the south to southwest. Probably sitting around about 45 kilometres an hour, and by the time I worked out the crosswind component, it was a no-brainer. It's well above my 15 kilometre an hour max crosswind component. So jumped back in the car, drove back down here. I'm now in the workshop. I'm going to throw this aeroplane canopy back on, or back all complete after it's been painted. So canopy frame has been painted. I've got the canopy over here, which will bolt onto that shortly. I've ended up having a mixture between paint and raw. It will make some sense when the Peter Anson engineering handle goes on, because this is a lot of this component's all been polished up anyway, and I think it's going to look, that will look part of the Sonex supplied lock on that, so I might as well keep this part raw, keep the rest of it black, and I think that'll work out alright in my eyes. The little locating pins have to be mounted back onto the canopy frame with some bolts on the top. You may recall I spoke about these having just threaded into the angle. I'm going to put a lock nut on the top of that as well, just to give it some extra security. And also we've got the canopy restraint cable to go on, so just bolts into the back of the tooling hole at the back of the turtleneck here, and onto the canopy, one of the canopy bows, bolts all on. So hopefully within about an hour I should have a canopy. So just prior to starting all that work, we'll have a quick look at the painted frame. Okay, there's the frame all painted. Over there is the Peter Anson part of his locking mechanism, which is the raw or polished in this instance. So the Sonex supplied lock will go onto this section here, and I think the contrast between the two colours is going to look great. Bows are all painted, quite happy with it, did a number of coats. Excuse me, everything came up great. So let's just get on to installing this on the aeroplane. Okay, I have pretty much completed the canopy. I've just got the small single MS screws and Nylex nuts on either end, so to this side, to the other side, but it took me a long time to adjust this Peter Anson handle. It was hard, but I got there in the end, and I'll tell you what, it's very, very tight. I had to take off the Sonex supplied little locating pieces in the aluminium that go against the nuts that go through here, just to file a little bit off. But anyway, it works, so I'm happy with it. Pretty much works like it should, I guess. So close this one off now, and just before I do a quick zoom around. Yeah, I couldn't resist it. I had to sit inside the Sonex. Bit echoey, but I'm pretty happy with it. It locks really, really good, and even though I'm not sitting on my little cushions, I'm probably around about maybe two inches lower. The visibility through the front's going to be phenomenal. I was just about to close off this video and thinking I'd done such a great job. Had a little bit of a look around, checked it all out, tightened a few screws here and there and that sort of thing, and just happened to look, catch the light at the right spot, and I thought, oh no, it's a little tiny hairline crack in one of the screws. So before anyone asks, I did all the precautions. I oversized the holes with 964s. I did everything like that, and it just happens to be in one spot. I don't know that it's detrimental. Obviously it has to be if it's got a crack, and I'll send the picture off to Sonex anyway. The disheartening thing about it is that it's probably going to be very hard to reverse engineer what I've done now. It's obviously I made everything as I went, and now to try to use this as a template or whatever it is, I really don't know how hard that's going to be. I don't think it will be. It just goes to show you you do need two canopies after all, and it can just happen. You know, I don't think it was anything that I did that caused it. I think it was just probably just a small undulation on the sheet, and I've gone to tighten it, and it probably sort of went down a little bit. Who knows? But very, very disheartening, and it is what it is, I guess. So I'll leave the canopy for the moment until I move it up to the big shed, and I'll redo it up there. But hey, at least I've had plenty of practice. The next one might be even better. Thanks for watching.